GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm CJ Waterhouse. A severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued for our city, and Environment Canada also has heat warnings rolling across central Canada. Traffic on Autoroute 15 is moving steadily despite lane closures, and the Honoré-Mercier Bridge will soon run one lane. Jeff, what do you make of that?
The Richard Avedon Immortal exhibition opens this Friday at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, featuring over 100 iconic photographs spanning 6 decades of his career.
The show includes never-before-seen portraits of cultural icons, plus interactive stations where visitors can explore Avedon's lighting techniques through digital displays throughout the galleries.
Admission is free on Saturday and Sunday for Montreal residents with a museum card, while standard tickets cost $15 for adults and $10 for seniors.
Lots to get to. Let's begin our lunch break with the Avedon exhibition opening this Friday, free weekend entry for museum card holders, and explore the iconic images together. Good morning, Montreal.
Researchers commissioned by La Presse have released a comprehensive inventory of lakes within 90 kilometers of the island. The study counted 596 bodies of water in the region, but found that only 56 provide public access for swimming or kayaking. The remaining lakes are largely private or lack facilities, limiting recreational opportunities for residents and visitors alike. By mapping the distribution of accessible shorelines, the analysis highlights a scarcity of open water venues despite the area's abundant freshwater resources. Officials and outdoor groups may use the data to prioritize future access improvements, although the report itself does not propose specific actions. The findings arrive as summer water activities peak, underscoring the gap between demand and available public sites. City planners and conservation authorities are expected to review the list as part of ongoing efforts to balance ecological protection with public recreation.
Door-to-door teams are handing out cooling kits across Park Extension as temperatures climb. Each kit contains a portable fan, a spray bottle, a simple thermometer, and a pamphlet with health tips. Volunteers from a local nonprofit are moving from street to street, offering residents a quick way to stay cool and monitor indoor heat. The effort aims to curb heat-related illnesses in a neighborhood where many live in older apartments without air conditioning. Organizers say the kits are especially valuable for seniors and families with young children. Residents who receive a kit are encouraged to use the fan and mist spray during the hottest parts of the day and check the thermometer regularly. The distribution continues throughout the week, bringing immediate relief as the city braces for another stretch of extreme heat.
6 free comedy performances are lighting up the city as part of this year's Just Pour Rire festival. Audiences can catch Weird Al Yankovic delivering his signature parody songs, while rising star Adib Al-Khalidi brings sharp observational humor to the stage. The series runs at various venues across town and will continue through July 26. Locations include the historic St. Joseph's Oratory Courtyard, the vibrant Quartier des Spectacles Square, and a pop-up stage at the Old Port. Organizers say the free shows are meant to broaden access to the festival's international lineup, offering a taste of the larger ticketed events. Each performance is scheduled for a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, making them easy options for families and tourists alike. With a total of 6 shows planned, the initiative adds a lively, low-cost cultural option to the summer calendar while showcasing both established and emerging talent.
Live streams of eye procedures are now rolling from the Centre des Chirurgies Ambulatoires Ophtalmiques Angus at Hôpital Maisonneuve Rose Mon. Starting this morning, surgeons are beaming real-time cataract and retinal operations to peer physicians across the province, aiming to boost collaborative learning and spark new techniques. Hospital officials say the initiative joins a global trend where operating rooms become virtual classrooms, letting specialists watch, ask questions, and exchange tips without leaving their own clinics. Participants include ophthalmologists from nearby teaching sites and community hospitals, all logged in through a secure platform. The program, launched at 5:51 a.m. this morning, underscores a push for rapid knowledge transfer in a field where precision matters. Viewers will see each step, from incision to postoperative care, with commentary from the lead surgeon, offering a rare glimpse into cutting-edge practice.
Police in Quebec have announced that a 4-year investigation into an organized extortion ring targeting bars, restaurants, and other businesses on Isle Jacis is now active. The operation forms part of a broader provincial effort to curb organized crime in the region, and police have indicated that merchants who cooperate will be offered protection and confidentiality. The Sûreté du Québec, working with La Ville Police, says criminal groups have been pressuring merchants for payments, and officials are urging owners to come forward before formal charges are laid. Investigators say the scheme began in 2022 and has persisted despite limited cooperation from the business community. Authorities stress that cooperation is essential to dismantle the network and protect local enterprises. The probe remains ongoing, with officers conducting interviews and gathering evidence across the island. Officials have not disclosed the number of suspects or the expected timeline for arrests.
Later we'll hear how the Jewish General Hospital earned university hospital status and why that matters for patients. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you stayed with us. Let's dive into today's headlines, and now Jeff Laflamme will take us to the local stories.
Yesterday, the Jewish General Hospital received official university hospital designation from Quebec officials, cementing its role in medical research, teaching, and specialized clinical care. The provincial status, reserved for top-tier teaching and research centers, acknowledges the hospital's long-standing contributions to patient care and scientific inquiry. With the new title, the institution will continue to host medical students, residents, and researchers who develop treatments and train the next generation of physicians. The designation also underscores the hospital's capacity to provide complex procedures that many residents rely on for serious health concerns. Officials noted that formalizing the hospital's teaching and research functions strengthens the province's overall health system. For patients and families, the change affirms that the care they receive is backed by cutting-edge research and a robust educational environment. It also creates additional opportunities for local clinicians to join innovative research trials and improve treatment options.
Today, a Montreal resident turned a modest lottery ticket into a life-changing windfall. Pierre Draws, who initially believed his prize was only $5,000, learned that the ticket actually paid out $5 million. The surprise came after he double-checked the numbers and contacted the lottery office. With the full amount confirmed, Draws announced his plan to use the money to purchase his first home, a milestone he said has been a long-standing goal. He described the moment as both exhilarating and humbling, noting that the unexpected size of the prize will allow him to secure a place of his own without the usual financial strain. The win underscores how a single ticket can dramatically shift personal fortunes, and Draws looks forward to turning his new resources into a stable, permanent residence.
Emergency rooms across the city are operating at more than 200% of their normal capacity, as a sweltering heat wave and chronic staff shortages strain the system. Health officials say the surge in patients, many suffering heat-related illness or respiratory distress, is overwhelming departments that are already stretched thin. Hospitals report longer wait times and the need to divert non-critical cases to other facilities. The city's public health agency has urged seniors and anyone with breathing problems to stay cool and seek care only for emergencies. To cope, some hospitals have set up outdoor triage tents and are redirecting ambulances to quieter facilities, while provincial officials keep a close watch on resource needs. Administrators are scrambling to bring in temporary nurses and to open cooling stations outside hospitals, but the combination of extreme temperatures and limited personnel continues to challenge care delivery.
Environment Canada and Météo Québec have issued a thunderstorm warning that now includes a heightened tornado risk across Montreal. The warning, in effect from July 14th through today, follows a strong weather front that is driving intense storms and even turning the midday sun an unusual yellow hue. Residents are hearing frequent rumbling and seeing sharp wind gusts as the system moves through, prompting concerns for power outages and damage to trees and roofs. The rare combination of severe thunderheads and a yellow-tinged sky has meteorologists flagging the situation as one of the more unusual summer events in recent memory. Schools have postponed outdoor activities, and public transit operators are monitoring potential disruptions. As the front continues to roll eastward, the threat of tornadoes remains active, and anyone outdoors should stay alert for rapid changes in conditions. Authorities advise checking local alerts before heading out.
Storms swept across southern Quebec on Thursday, but they turned out far milder than the thunderstorm warnings predicted. Meteorologists had warned residents to brace for strong gusts and heavy rain, yet the skies stayed relatively calm with only light showers and brief gusts. As a result, electricity providers reported just a handful of outages, affecting a small number of neighborhoods rather than the widespread blackouts some feared. Power crews were on standby, and their rapid response restored service within an hour where interruptions occurred. Residents who opened windows to let in the cooler air found the weather comfortable for afternoon activities, and local businesses reported no significant disruption. The milder conditions also meant that traffic flowed smoothly, avoiding the delays often seen during more severe storms. Utility officials said they will continue monitoring the system throughout the evening.
Let's get a look at your afternoon forecast with our meteorologist, Jamie.
A brisk western jet fuels a steady high, keeping clouds thin while temperatures climb toward the daily peak. On this date, the all-time high stands at 33.1 degrees, set in 2013 when a persistent ridge forced temperatures into the upper 30s across southern Quebec. The record low is 12.9 degrees, recorded in 2015 during an anomalous cold snap that slipped south from the Great Lakes region. Today's climatological average high hovers around 26 degrees, with a typical low near 19, underscoring how today feels modestly warm compared with the extremes. The live radar shows a broad swath of clear returns over southern Quebec, with no rain echoes across the map. A thin band of high-altitude cirrus drifts eastward, but the moisture core remains well north of the St. Lawrence. With the western jet streaming at 212 kilometers per hour, the air mass stays dry and stable, so precipitation is unlikely to reach the city before sunset. Turning now to today's outlook. At noon, Montreal feels partly cloudy with a temperature of 23 degrees and a humidity near 67%. The western jet overhead, clocking 212 kilometers per hour, reinforces a steady pressure pattern, keeping the air mass warm and well mixed. Temperatures will rise to 28 degrees by mid-afternoon, then hold steady through the evening as skies clear to a crisp, clear finish. The maximum wind will gust 26 kilometers per hour from the west, feeling noticeably brisk. UV index sits at 6, and no weather alerts are active. With the ridge persisting, the day remains dry and warm, setting the stage for tomorrow's cooler stretch. Looking ahead, Thursday brings a clear sky with a high of 26 degrees and a low near 12, marking the first noticeable dip as the ridge weakens. Friday stays mainly clear, high 25 and low 16, offering a pleasant stretch before the weekend. Saturday introduces a mid-level trough, bringing rain chances of 75% and temperatures cooling to 22 degrees, low 17. Sunday returns to a mostly sunny pattern, high 24, low 15, with a slight chance of rain at 25% in the late afternoon. Monday turns overcast, high 23 and low 15, as lingering moisture from the trough settles over the region. The week swings from warm, dry early days to a cooler, wetter mid-week spell. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic updates, a look at the Laughs comedy lineup, plus the Canadians trade news and a Dragon Flowers spotlight. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
The most significant story this morning is the lack of any major incidents. All major routes, including Autoroute 6, Autoroute 15, Boulevard St. Laurent, and Rue Saint-Denis, are flowing freely. No accidents, no construction, no delays. That means you can expect a smooth ride to work or school. Looking ahead, the afternoon will likely bring the usual post-lunch buildup. Southbound Autoroute 15 toward the South Shore typically sees moderate congestion around the Turcotte interchange after 12:30. Downtown corridors such as Rue Saint-Arbrook, Avenue du Mont-Royal, and the downtown stretch of Boulevard René Lévesque often thicken as office workers head home. If you're traveling east on Rue St. Laurent, keep an eye on the junction with Rue Peel, where traffic can slow briefly. On the transit side, there are no reported disruptions. All metro lines are running on schedule and the commuter rail remains on time. So for now, the road is clear, but plan for a gradual slowdown after lunch.
Just for Laughs kicks off today, turning the city into a comedy playground until July 26. Hundreds of stand-up stars flood the streets, so whether you're grabbing a bite in the Plateau or strolling the Old Port, you'll hear punchlines echoing around every corner. Meanwhile, at Time Out Market Montreal, Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition invites you behind the curtain. The photo showcase reveals the hidden choreography and daring feats that never make it onto the stage, perfect for a quick cultural pause between meetings. And looking ahead to the weekend, Studio St. Denis will host Heated Rivalry, the unauthorized musical parody. From July 17 to 19, 6 staged readings lampoon the off-Broadway hit, giving Montreal a taste of sharp satire and catchy tunes. That's the pulse of today's Montreal scene. Laugh loud, explore the magic, and gear up for a weekend of witty performance. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's teams, from trades to on-field action. The Montreal Canadiens have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, CBC Sports NHL reports. The move clears a roster spot for Montreal and adds depth to Vancouver's forward group as the offseason reshapes. Montreal Canadiens have signed defenseman Bogdan Konyushkov to a 2-year entry-level deal covering the 2026-27 and 2027-28 seasons. Habs' eyes on the prize notes. The creative maneuver secures the young prospect as the club bolsters its defensive pipeline before training camp. In Northern Super League action, substitute Chloe Minas converted a penalty in the 77th minute, giving the Montreal Roses a 1-0 victory over the visiting Halifax Tides, CBC Sports Soccer reports. The narrow win lifts the Roses in the league standings as the season heads toward its climax.
Dragon Flowers on Rue Saint-Denis in the Plateau Mont-Royal is a boutique that turns everyday moments into bursts of color with bouquets and arrangements. The shop relies on a single red tricycle to weave through the neighborhood each morning, delivering fresh stems to cafes, offices, and doorsteps. On July 13, 2026, that tricycle vanished, leaving the owner scrambling to keep orders alive and reminding us how fragile a small business can be when a simple theft strikes. The appeal to neighbors has already sparked a ripple of offers, from spare bike parts to social media shouts, showing the plateau's spirit. Dragon Flowers isn't just a flower shop, it is a living reminder that every blossom in Montreal is nurtured by community care. Stay tuned for the tale of a Montreal resident who won $5 million and is ready to buy their first home.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
Montreal's historic waterfront is lighting up tonight as the Jacques Cartier Pier becomes the home of Cirque du Soleil's brand new Echo under a glittering big top. The show promises breathtaking acrobatics and immersive soundscapes, drawing crowds to the old port for a night unlike any other. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. The night air is warm, the scent of fresh pretzels and river mist mingles as the big top dome rises like a glowing lantern over Jacques Cartier Pier. Inside, rows of red and gold seats curve around a polished wooden floor and the crowd hums with anticipation. The lights dim, a hush spreads, and the first acrobats launch from a suspended trapeze, their silhouettes cutting through a cascade of teal and amber. The music swells, a blend of electronic beats and live strings, echoing off the water and the steel ribs of the tent. Families clutch glowing wristbands, tourists snap photos, and local street performers weave through the aisles, adding their own rhythm. Cirque du Soleil's newest production, Echo, celebrates the pulse of the city, turning the historic waterfront into a living canvas of movement and sound. It's a reminder that art can transform familiar places into extraordinary experiences. The audience erupts in applause, their cheers rippling across the pier like waves. Carl Dumont, virtually at Old Port of Montreal.
In the heart of the plateau, a modest trailer sits on the curb beside a bright red duplex that a local family just bought. The parents, Maya and Louis, have set up a tiny kitchen inside the trailer, cooking meals on a portable stove while their 2 children draw pictures of the house they hope to call home. Across the hallway, the longtime tenants, Marie and her teenage son, have filed a legal challenge, determined to stay where they have built memories. What could have been a tense standoff turned into a neighborhood gathering on a sunny Saturday. Neighbors brought fresh baguettes, children shared crayons, and a volunteer mediator from the community center stepped in. Over shared coffee, Maya and Marie discovered a common love for gardening, and they agreed to a phased transition that lets the tenants relocate with support while the family moves in gradually. The moment the first garden plot was handed over, a smile spread across both families, a quiet promise that home is built on compassion as much as bricks. We wish them strength as they build a new home together.
In the historic Studio Saint-Denis, tucked beneath the vaulted brick arches of the plateau, the Just for Laughs team has set up a modest stage for an unlikely kind of rehearsal. 6 local actors, fresh from community workshops, gather each evening to run through Heated Rivalry, a tongue-in-cheek off-Broadway musical parody about 2 rival poutine trucks. The air is scented with fresh coffee and the faint tang of melted cheese, while a single spotlight catches the nervous grin of the lead vocalist as he tests a high note that sounds more like a squeaky door than a showstopper. What makes the series special is not the polished production, but the shared laughter that erupts when the cast discovers a forgotten lyric about maple syrup diplomacy, prompting an impromptu chorus that has the audience clapping along. By the final reading, the theater feels less like a venue and more like a living room where strangers become collaborators, and the humor turns into a quiet affirmation of community creativity. It's a reminder that Montreal's festivals thrive on moments where ordinary people step into the spotlight and, for a night, become the story.
Thanks for joining us, Montreal. Today's look at the $5 million lottery win reminded us that big dreams can start right at home. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Until then, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your day together tonight.